I'm here to talk to you about one of my very favorite subjects. I pretty much use the word inside in most of the titles of my program. I included it in my book, and I include the word inside in most of my talks and teachings. When I reference inside, I think about moving my energy from out there into here, into my heart. I know because I am a very sensitive individual. You might call that an empath. There are many names, but really what I call it is an individual that has high level of sensitivity. That comes in all forms for me. It means that light can be too much at times, that temperatures affect me in a big way, that smells are something that I usually can detect before anyone else I am with can smell them. Along with that comes an emotional energy that I can walk into a room and feel vibrations that not a lot of people feel. I used to turn away from these sensitivities until I understood deeply that this was something that made me someone that could really examine the inside of my life, the inner workings of my life, and make my life all that more fabulous because of these sensitivities. When I tried to push them away or get my cues from outside of my life, life got very confusing for me and very complicated. So in this 4-part series, what I'd love to do with you is to help you reconnect to the most powerful part of who you are. And that is your intuition, your inner knowing, your sensations, the stuff that can overwhelm us very easily when we're not paying attention to those parts of our life. So now, instead of pushing feelings and emotions and sensations and experiences away, or trying to numb them out or calm them without really addressing them and turning towards them, I turn towards them. I welcome them. And the way that I move in my life and the way I've had to teach others to understand I'm moving in support of who I am and ultimately in support of what I want to create in the world as far as being in relationship. It has become very successful. And I think I've become a really good communicator, not only with others, but with myself. So when an experience comes up for me that feels unsettling or feels scary, I turn towards it and listen. So in this first part of this 4-part series, the first is called notice. And notice is a word that I think explains beautifully what we're trying to do when we turn towards ourselves. We are trying to pay attention to the deepest parts of who we are. What makes us tick? What makes us happy? What makes us sad? What makes us uncomfortable? What makes us anxious? And all that information, instead of it being an aggravation, it becomes this source of knowledge that we honor and bow towards. So in my book, I call this inner noticing the observer. You probably have heard that if you've been on this path for a while. You've probably heard that term before. It's called the observer sometimes, or self-awareness, inner knowing, wisdom, intuition. There's many names for this, and the name truly doesn't matter much. But what does matter is that you are paying attention at a different level to what is going on with you. So self-awareness on a path of learning about you, a path of self-discovery, becomes one of the most important things that we do. And that's why I'm introducing it to you as the first lesson in this 4-part series of Awakening Your Sensitivities. So in a little program that I put together called the 10 Tools, the first tool is called Stop, Look, and Listen. And again, sort of the same feeling around this turning inward rather than turning our attention outward. So stop, look, and listen is when something happens, when there's something that goes on for us. And you know what? This can be a joyful thing too, right? This doesn't just have to have a negative connotation. This can be a beautiful, glorious thing for us. But when we notice it, we are in that moment. And really what we are trying to do at any time when we're talking about self-healing is getting ourselves here, getting ourselves in this moment. And the reason that we push away doing that is because some moments are really, really uncomfortable, sometimes painful, and sometimes suffering lives in that moment. So the reason that I am so intrigued with this process of well-being and self-care is that we really have to show up for it all in order to wake up our lives. We can't just do it in one part of our life, right? The joyful stuff. Waking up to our life means that we wake up to it all. And so when we wake up to it all and we don't have a comfortable experience at that point, what we have to do is have a real huge tools and resources that we can go to. So in my life, let's just speak about this, because right now I'm on a big trip. And it's a glorious trip, and it's a dream that my husband and I have wanted to do for a very long time. But what I noticed when we made this decision to do this and go away for a month, what I noticed was how much anxiety was coming up for me. Yes, I wanted to do it. It was exciting. We dreamed about it. But somehow, all of a sudden, there was all this anxiety around doing it. So does that mean I cancel the trip? No, it doesn't. Does it mean I reach into my tool bag and find ways of nurturing myself into that process so I could stay brave and stay courageous and do something that my heart has longed to do really for my whole life? Yeah, that sounded like a better idea to me. So what I do is, in my life, I have routines and rituals that come along with me, right? I paint. That's one thing I do in my morning meditation. I journal. I have mantras that I chant. I have a very simple little yoga practice that I've taken to memory so that I can do that. And I start my day like that. I have remedies, homeopathic remedies that I take for jet lag, and I take we're skiers, so we're in Zermatt, Switzerland right now, and the elevation is very high. So I have also remedies that heal around the elevation differences. So these simple little things are things that become the medicine for my well-being. I know that if I have them with me and I put them together, and it's a treasured literally little suitcase that I put together with my self-healing tools, I know that just by doing that I am going to create an energy of safety and protection. And what that does for me is it makes me brave. I notice inside that I feel braver because I walked through any discomfort that that present moment brought to my life. So for this first video of 4 parts, awakening to your sensitivities, I'm going to ask you to identify something in your life that makes you braver. What is that? What is that? And if you can establish even, I'm going to say 3 things that make you feel braver, allowing you to stay in discomfort, that you are going to have this ability to start noticing inside that there's a safety you have cultivated just by taking care and figuring out what those tools are. So the call to action for this first video is go out there and find that. Notice, notice, notice. Become the observer of your life. Write that down. When are you uncomfortable? When do you feel like interacting with people is difficult? And are there people that fill you up and make you happy? And is there a way for you to do more of that? And what are the tools that you use to stay in the present moment when life feels a little bit difficult for you? The next one we're going to do, the next in this 4-part series, is going to be taking action. So we're going to put together a little practice for you that you're going to be able to take part in and stay with for 40 days, because 40 days is known, scientifically known, to start to change habits. And that's really what it will take for you to be able to switch out of these impulses and reactions and painful thinking that brings suffering to your life. And when we can move beyond that in this incremental, beautiful, small step kind of way, we have the ability to change our life. And I know with all my heart it is possible because I'm living it.